But as far as the fight, I feel like Bug could beat him easy. How though?
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating.
New York when Hamza fought Berlanga, and he doesn't look too small anymore. He's filled out a lot. He looked quite big.
Experts believe Terence Crawford has what it takes to beat Canelo Alvarez, pointing to his unmatched adaptability and ring IQ. Stephen A. Smith has no hesitation in saying Crawford will defeat Canelo. While he respects Canelo's greatness, he insists Crawford's mindset and skill give him the edge. In his view, if anyone can handle Canelo's power and dominance, it's Crawford.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud,
Right.
it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
always prepared.
He's always
gotta
ready.
give
He's
him that.
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's going to knock him out.
Analysts draw a strong comparison between Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. They note that Spence, like Canelo, fights with a Mexican-influenced style built on pressure, grit, and skill. The logic is clear. If Crawford could dominate Spence, why not Canelo? Spence's body shots, footwork, and technical ability match many of Canelo's strengths. To analysts, this shows Crawford has already proven he can deal with a fighter built like Canelo.
31 wins by way of knockout. Is there a drastic difference in skill set and style between Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez? There's not. There's not. There's obvious differences. But is there a drastic difference? No. Errol Spence is flat-footed, aggressive, come forward, and a pressure fighter. Canelo Alvarez is aggressive, come forward, flat-footed, and a pressure fighter. Overall, their skill set is pretty much the same skill set. The difference is durability, for one. Canelo Alvarez has as great of a chin as there is in the sport of boxing historically, where we've seen Errol Spence hurt in the past, early in his career, and then you've seen him, buzzed by Yordenis Ugas. But obviously, Errol Spence has suffered that horrific car accident, okay? Errol Spence suffered the 2 major eye injuries.
Shakur Stevenson dismisses any talk about weight being a deciding factor. He argues Crawford's timing, precision, and all-around skill matter far more than size. Stevenson says Crawford has faced every style imaginable and always found a way to win. To him, boxing is not about who is bigger, but about who executes better. That is why he's confident Crawford can beat Canelo.
I feel like Bug could beat him easy.
How though? What are your thoughts on Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez? Terence going up another 2 weight classes. Just got to 54. He's skipping 60, going straight to 68, talking about what's going on.
I feel like once he beat Canelo, that will be like one of the greatest resumes in boxing ever, just because of the fact that he's going up 2 divisions just to fight this guy, and this guy's bigger than him. And not only did you just crush Errol Spence, but you go out there and the way that he beats Canelo too. If he go out there and just dominate and make it an easy fight, honestly, I think that that's going to be like one of the best resumes I ever seen. But as far as the fight, I feel like Bud could beat him easy.
How though? Don't give me everything. Just how is it?
For me, it's a blueprint already. Floyd was a lot smaller than Canelo when he fought him. You keep Canelo on the outside. I ain't going to even say too much, but you keep him on the outside and make it easy.
Amir Khan responds to critics who doubt Crawford's chances due to size and power. Khan praises Crawford's ability to land sharp, precise shots to the body, pointing out that this was key in his victory over Errol Spence. He explains that Crawford controls pace with smart movement and accuracy, breaking down even the strongest fighters. Khan believes many underestimate how those skills can dismantle someone like Canelo.
With both fighters, so yeah, I'm thinking of maybe going there. I've been asked to go there and obviously give my input on the fight before they go in the ring. And obviously I know both fighters. Canelo's a friend now after our fight we had, and also Crawford had shared training camp with him as well. It's a good fight. But I'm not going to say too much.
Okay.
I'm going to save it till on the day of the fight.
Okay.
But look, it's going to be a mega fight. Honestly, it's hard to pick the winner.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a close one.
I know you said you don't want to say too much, but when people talk about Crawford boxing on the outside and using it to movement, almost making it boring in a sense, do you think he can do that with the added weight that gets put on and him boxing in that certain style that we haven't really seen him box like before? In terms of boxing on the outside and almost sort of that stick and movement type.
Talking about Crawford, yeah?
Crawford, yeah.
Look, Crawford's going to probably do the same thing that he knows best, which is box, be smart, slow movements, small steps. So only small steps he's taking. So I mean, look, and it's always worked for him. Every fight he's been in, we thought that the fight with Spence was going to be hard, and he made it look so easy. Now, we've never really seen him in a hard fight where we've seen him in trouble, so maybe this could be the fight that puts him in that trouble to see what he's going to be like when he's under pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've never seen either fighter under pressure, like a lot of pressure. I mean, you can't say...
Maybe Golovkin for Canelo, I guess you could say.
Exactly, yeah, Golovkin, yeah. But other than that, I don't class the Mayweather fight a hard fight, because Mayweather just a runner, wasn't he?
Yeah. But, I guess Bivol had the size
Bivol had the size advantage, but this one, I think Canelo has the size advantage. But then again, I've always said Crawford puts on the weight well. If you look at size of him, you see his picture when he was like 185. He looked huge, but he looked jacked up, and he looked strong at the weight as well.
Promoter Eddie Hearn admits he once dismissed Crawford's chances, but after meeting him, he changed his mind. Hearn was impressed by Crawford's confidence and mental toughness, qualities that often decide elite fights. While Hearn still respects Canelo's strengths, he now sees a clear path where Crawford's mindset and skill could push him to victory.
Are you still favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed?
I mean, I've always favoured Canelo in the fight.
Well, I've heard that you want Canelo to win, but you feel...
Of course, yeah. I like Terence. But I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the threat, and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford. Like, there's no doubt in Terence Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you spend a bit of time with him, you kind of start buying into that. And I guess that's what happened in Riyadh, because I travelled with him to the fight, and but it's a 50-50 fight. I think gun to head, I'm probably picking Crawford right now. But I want Canelo to win. And he can win for sure. But Terence is going to make it really tricky and awkward for him, and I don't think he's going to like that kind of fight.
Former fighter Andy Lee calls Canelo versus Crawford a fight boxing needs. He argues size will not decide it, noting that Crawford looks strong and prepared even at the higher weight. Lee says Canelo's size advantage is real but not unbeatable. With his speed, angles, and versatility, Crawford can balance the scales and make it a competitive and thrilling fight.
Like every good fight, no one really knows the skill and competitiveness and ring craft of Crawford, or You can say the same things about Canelo, but just he has that size. And but I see Crawford in New York when Hamza fought Berlanga, and he doesn't look too small anymore. He's filled out a lot. He looked quite big. It's a great fight. I think they're equally matched in skill, and it's going to be one of the best fights. It's going to, like, when you see how skillful both fighters are, the tricks they have, and how they fight. It should be one of the best fights of the last, I don't know how many years. You know, it should be up there with the best fights we can remember.
Yeah. Does the weight putting on for Crawford?
Still, some analysts stress that Crawford is moving into unknown territory. At this weight, he has never faced someone with the strength, durability, and proven track record of Canelo Alvarez. On the other hand, Canelo has already beaten countless world-class fighters at this level, showing both physical dominance and tactical brilliance.
This is what scares me going into this Terence Crawford fight. These are the guys Canelo's typically fighting. This is his last opponent, William Scull. William Scull is far from a great opponent. When we're talking about sheer size and strength, Canelo is just way more built and used to taking on larger guys and overpowering them. Look at William Scull. This guy is jacked. He's huge, man. And that makes me think, like, if Canelo has been taking punches from guys like this, I'm not saying William Scull in particular, but guys like William Scull, the size of William Scull, and he's been dropping them, stopping them, beating them around the ring, overpowering, over-muscling, just everything, physically demanding over them. That makes me think, man, Terence Crawford, I don't know what, you gonna have to come with some heat, dog. Look at Canelo.
Because of that, experts agree Crawford must be flawless from the opening bell. He will need perfect focus, rapid adjustments, and world-class conditioning to survive Canelo's pressure. He must take Canelo's hardest punches and still fire back. Any mistake could cost him. To make history, Crawford has to combine discipline, resilience, and creativity in the toughest fight of his career.
This guy is half the size of William Scull. There's nothing cut about him. There's nothing popping out, bulging. There's nothing. Look at this. This is insanity. That's what I'm really like, dude. I don't know. Canelo could go in there and walk through Terence Crawford like a hot knife through butter. That is definitely on the table here. He gonna have to be really crafty, really savvy, and have to put on some amazing work from the outside. If he tries to sit there and walk through Canelo, he gonna hit a brick wall, dog. If guys built like this ain't walking through Canelo, even when Canelo looks like this, Terence Crawford ain't doing it, man. I gotta be honest.
Virgil Ortiz takes a more cautious view. He points out that Crawford has never been tested against elite opponents at this heavier weight. Gaining extra pounds affects stamina, movement, and reaction speed. Meanwhile, Canelo has lived and thrived at this weight for years. Ortiz warns that Crawford's skill might not be enough if the weight jump slows him down against such a dangerous opponent.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just going to treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing. You know, the jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10,
right? Yeah.
You know,
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he going to be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter. And look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
It favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. You know, and Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he'll he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
Fans and analysts also wonder how the result will be judged. If Crawford wins, he'll be praised for conquering a bigger, more experienced champion. If Canelo wins, some may say it was only because Crawford was smaller. But if Canelo loses, critics will question how one of boxing's best could fall to a lighter man. That adds even more pressure to both fighters.
You know what sucks for Canelo Alvarez? The fact that when he beats Terence Bud Crawford, he's really not going to get much credit for this victory. Although Terence is an undefeated fighter, he's a pound-for-pound star, one of the biggest names in American boxing, but he's going up 3 weight divisions. And on paper, Canelo Alvarez should win this fight, and he should win it in a dominant fashion. And that's what sucks about this fight, because Canelo really doesn't gain much from beating Crawford. The only one who really can gain anything that is Crawford. And I guarantee you, after Canelo Alvarez beats Terence Bud Crawford, all the fans that were saying this is an easy fight for Crawford, Canelo's washed, Crawford's going to win by KO, all these crazy things, right? Those same people are going to be saying, oh, Canelo's a cherry picker, he doesn't want to fight real fighters, he's ducking Benavidez, he's ducking the rematch against Dimitri Bivol. It's going to be like, man, Canelo he just can't win. But you're going to see, man, the narrative is going to totally flip, and it's going to be a very crazy thing to watch. But I'm curious to know your thoughts. Do you think Canelo Alvarez will receive any credit for beating Terence Bud Crawford? Let's talk about it, and follow me for more boxing talk.
Whatever happens, this fight promises to be huge. With Netflix streaming it, the world will be watching. 2 of the best of their era clashing for legacy. In a sport where politics and weight classes often stop these stream fights, this one is real. It is more than just a matchup. It's history in the making.
This is huge news for boxing, UFC, and Netflix. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez will officially be on September the 13th on Netflix. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is, of course, the UFC, TKO, recently acquired their new strange boxing model with Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White promoting it. And this actually will be on Netflix. So for some context, if you don't know, the UFC are currently under negotiations with a new TV deal. And the rumours for a very long time were that of Netflix. But it doesn't look like they're going down that route anymore. Or at least it sounded like Netflix wanted a total package where they would get the major UFC fights and the major boxing fights as well. Or potentially they didn't even want the UFC fights and they just wanted a couple of these sort of events. Regardless, Dana White is officially the promoter for it, which I do believe is still bizarre. I still really think that's super bizarre. And the fact that they have quite opposing views in Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White, to be honest. Not in everything, but in how events are run. Dana White doesn't even like stadiums, first and foremost. Turki Al-Sheikh loves making as big of a splash as he possibly can. As fights go, for the casuals, this one is as good as it gets. It really is. Let me know what you think. As always, keep it casual.
You made it all the way here? Then don't just sit there. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with every boxing fan you know. If you don't, Canelo and Crawford might throw hands in your living room and you'll miss it. Don't play yourself. Subscribe now.